Got the G, fill, A minor, back to G, A minor. In this video, you learn how to create rhythm fills from scratch, step by step. Now, if you've ever seen videos on guitar fills for beginners, you've probably seen some pretty cool ideas, riffs and licks that players like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan used between the chords of the progressions they play. Now, these videos are great and they show you some great ideas, but they never really show you how to do it yourself, how to come up with your own fills and how to apply them to your playing. That is what we're going to be doing today. Once you understand how rhythm fills actually work, you're going to be able to take the melodic ideas, the little riffs and embellishments, and apply them to any chord progression that you play. So here's what we're going to do. Step one, we're going to establish the groove. This is really important. It's the foundation for everything that follows. Step two, we create our fill from scratch. Step three, we put the fill with the progression, with the groove. Everything at this point is pretty straight, but it's important to keep it straight and just make sure everything's in time. This is the part that is lacking from a lot of these videos on rhythm fills. Step four, things start to sound more musical because we'll add phrasing, not just to the fill, but also the progression itself. And everything's going to be sounding much more expressive, much more musical. And then finally, step five, I'll show you how to build variations. So one fill can turn into 5, 10 or even more. By the end of this video, you won't just have a bunch of awesome rhythm fills you can use anywhere, anytime. You'll know how to build your own and how to apply them to your own playing. I'm Simon Candy. I've been teaching guitar for over 30 years, and if you want more lessons like this one, be sure to hit subscribe. All right, let's get to it. So step one is to establish the groove. But as I said it in the introduction, it's not going to be much of a groove just yet. So maybe more accurate to say, let's establish the time. So the chord progression is going to be G for 1 bar, A minor for 1 bar, making up a 2 bar little vamp here. And so if we establish the time, pretty much just 1, 2, 3, 4, and A minor, 2, 3, 4, back to G, just a nice steady, slow, if you like, tempo, 2, 3, 4. That's our foundation. That's important to establish, okay? So we'll come back to it and dress it up a little bit, but let's shift to step two, which is create our fill. Now we're going to play the fill over the A minor chord, and more specifically over the second half of the bar of A minor. So basically on beats 3 and 4. So because it's over the A minor chord, it'd be good to create a little fill that comes from the A minor pentatonic scale, because if we use notes from there, it's going to fit really nice on top of that A minor bar chord. So the fill is just going to simply be this. Okay, very simple. We don't want anything too tricky. It doesn't have to be tricky. We're going to dress it up a little bit to sound more musical shortly, but right now, that's all we need to do. Establish a little fill that's about 2 beats in length, because it's going to fit in that little pocket, as I said, on the second half of the A minor chord. Step three is put the fill in place or in the context of the progression. This is really, really important. This is where, a lot of videos sort of fall short, and perhaps their intention is just to show you some cool fills and so forth. But I don't want to do that here so much. I want to show you how to build it and, train it. So here we've got a simple little chord progression. We've got a half bar fill that's going to go over the second half of the second chord, that being A minor. So let's just do that in a very sort of mechanical way. We've got G, 2, 3, 4 to A minor, 1, 2, and then back to the G, 3 and 4 to the A minor, 2, and back to the G again. So that's all we're doing. We're putting in the little fill right here. Right? If you want to just explore this first little part of our video before moving on, you could take any little fill out of the pentatonic scale over the A minor chord there and it would work fine. You might go 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and back to your G. Just little, placeholders for where we'll dress up riffs later. Right? So you can, even just that sounds pretty good straight off the bat. What we're going to do next is start to dress these things up a little bit to sound better, more expressive and more musical. And I'm also going to show you how you can take this one simple idea we're working with today and really expand it out to get many more fills that you can put in between the chords of the progressions you play. So step 4 is let's dress things up a little bit to make it sound a little more musical. So if we just start with the little groove we've got going here, or the vamp. So when we play the G, let's do something like this. And A minor, same. So what we're doing is we're just hitting the root note of the chord first, then strumming it. 1, 2, and just before the third beat. So it's like 1E and a 2E and a, it's just on the up before the 3. 1, 2E and a 3 and 4. And then we're hitting on and with the root note again and down on 4. So again on the G, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and A minor, 2, 3 and 4. G and A minor. And back to our G. So with the fill, we're going to slide into the first note. So instead of just playing that first note, we're going to decorate it a little bit by sliding into it. And then we're going to hit the next note. And then here, we get a double stop. I'm going to lay my finger flat. I'm going to bar it to cover the second and third strings here. So I get those 5th fretted notes and I do a quick little hammer on. So instead of just going and straight to that note, I'm embellishing that note. It's really all about this note here. But I'm embellishing it by hitting the double stop first and doing a quick little hammer on to that, what is a D note there. So we've got the slide in, hitting the C note, and then double stop, embellishment, back to the 5th fret, and back to the 7th fret. So if we put that together with what we've got more of our groove now, let's hear how that sounds. So we're going to go A minor, back to G, A minor, fill. Okay. Much better, right? Just a couple of simple little things, and now we're really grooving, and we've got a really nice textured, if you like, with the double stop, embellished fill that sits nicely in that pocket over the 3rd and 4th beats of A minor. So let's look at some subtle little variations we can do to really kind of multiply any one fill that you might learn or create yourself. So the first variation is just going to alter where we come in with the fill with a couple of other little minor changes. I'm going to come in a little later with this fill. So instead of coming in on the 3 and 4, I'm going to come in on the and of 3, half a beat later. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's a little, feels like it's rushed a little bit, not in a bad way, but just because you've got less time now. So you've got to sort of fit it in a slightly smaller space, smaller pocket if you like. So again, instead of 1, 2, 3, I come in half a beat later. 1, 2, 3. And what I might even do is put an open, let's say an open 3rd string in there before coming back down to G. So I could go that sort of thing. So G, A, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Whereas before, it was this. 1, 2. But now 2, 3, and 4 to the A minor, 2, 3. This next variation is similar, but we're going to come in earlier with the fill, a whole beat earlier. So we're going to have to fill out more space. I mean, I could leave some space towards the back end of the bar, but I'll still fill it out. We're just extending the pocket that we're going to play the fill in. So the fill itself, isolated, goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's very similar in terms of the notes we're playing, but extended a bit because we've got more space to fill, as I said. So if we hear that in the context of our chord progression here, or our vamp if you like, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, then A minor. So longer fill. A minor. Back to the G. So notice when I hit the A minor, I don't have time to do too much more than just give it a strum, and I can have that staccato approach and set myself up to do the fill. And back to my G chord. These are the things that you want to be doing. Playing around and always thinking of the groove. This is so important. You can work on the fills and come up with different fills in isolation and work on them and phrase them, absolutely. But then you've got to spend time fitting them into the vamps and progressions you play. That's a crucial step. So lastly, let me just give you a little idea of where you can go with this, because we could also fill on the G major chord. We could put more fills in. We could learn new fills, all this sort of stuff. And I do have other videos on my channel that do go into this a little bit deeper in terms of different ways to approach this. You could use this as your foundation to learn how to do it and apply it yourself, and then you can check out some of those videos. I'll leave some links in the description below this one to learn some more variations of fills and all that sort of stuff. But we could do something where maybe on the G we get a little, right, so just a little double stop fill that's coming from the G major pentatonic scale to fit that G chord. When we go to A minor, might do a little fill like that. This is coming up into pattern 2 pentatonic territory here. Just playing a little single note line there to fill over the second half of A minor. Then we're back at G, so we might go next. Just a classic little double stop slidey riff. Back to A minor, and then some little fill like that perhaps. And back to your G. So let me just play that example that I just showed you a little bit more to time here. So I've got the G, fill, A minor, back to G, A minor, and back to the G. That's the strategy, right? Establish your groove, keep it very straight in time. So establish the time, the tempo, and then create a little simple, very simple fill from the appropriate scale. Pentatonic scales are great, just make sure it fits the chord. So A minor for A minor, G major for G major, that's typically a good approach. And then you want to put the two together in time before you do anything about decorating the fill or the chord progression. Once you can do that, then it's time to dress the fill up a little bit, add some double stops, or maybe put in a fill that you've learned somewhere else, whatever it is, and also dress up the groove a little bit. And then it's about, okay, rather than go learn the next fill and the next fill and so on and so forth, how can I take the one I've got and make it a little different? That's where you're not only going to get a lot of mileage for the fills that you learn, you're going to work on your improvisation and ad-lib skills that are really crucial to your playing as well. If you like this lesson, then you'll love my free 5-day acoustic guitar rhythm techniques mini course. In it, you learn 5 powerful ways to sound more polished and more pro as a rhythm guitarist, including dynamic strumming and chordal picking techniques, rhythm riffs and fills, as well as expressive chord embellishments. Across 5 short lessons, you not only learn these techniques, but how to put them together to create great sounding rhythm parts that really stand out. So click the link in the description below to get instant access and start transforming the way you play rhythm guitar today. If you like this lesson, then hit subscribe and ring the bell. That way you won't miss the next one. And if you want to continue building your rhythm guitar skills, then check out the video on your screen right now where I show you 3 really cool and unique ways to back a singer on one guitar, including some of the rhythm fill ideas that we had in today's lesson. I'm Simon Candy, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.